There's a new company called Humane, which is a secret startup by ex-Apple veterans Imran Chaudhry, I think that's it, and Bethany Bongiorno. I wonder if she's related to DiGiorno. But they have revealed their new company, their new startup, and their wearable AI projector. This thing is interesting. So as you can see, he's got this little thing in his pockets, and it's an AI thing that's connected up to his phone, and he was able to have the phone, like if you look at your phone, it says such and such is calling and whatnot. Well, it'll just project straight onto your hand. So that's how that works, and it is AI driven. It is connected to AI. We'll get into a little bit more of that later, but as you can see, we're hitting a new level here where they're trying to move us past the phones, the little handheld computer things. And we knew that was coming. We knew it was going to be happening. And so now they're working on this AI projector system. So this is interesting. My guess is, as far as how this works, is you'll have like Bluetooth earphones that you can connect to it and whatnot to use that. We know they plan on moving forward with like implantable stuff. We'll talk about that in a minute. But yeah, so this is interesting. We got a display on that. We got a display where I don't have the video for it, but basically he had like a chocolate bar and he asked his AI if he should eat that, if it's able to eat that. And the AI knows him so well. The AI knows he has some type of allergy that it scanned it and said, oh, this food is in there. Don't eat it. So we're seeing again more of the interaction, more of the connection of AI and human. We know this is coming with the transhuman movement, connecting the iron and the clay type of thing. But where I want to focus on this is the language. Now he's got a thing as far as language goes, a demonstration as far as this goes. This is where I started to get something tingling, saying, "Hey, this is interesting." So what we're seeing here is a push towards not only the AI and the human interaction. The fact that he keeps saying "my AI," that's creepy. That's creepy because it's pointing towards, it's suggesting that it's the AI and you are coming together, which that's really what they're pushing for. But what you're talking about is he's got this AI that's, again, like you said, not a deep fake, but it's replicating his voice. Now, we've talked about all this stuff a bunch of times, how AI is able to recognize emotion, speech patterns, all this stuff, how you would speak, everything like that, your tone and all that. It's able to take all that information and then recreate your voice and speak in a way that people wouldn't be able to understand if it's AI or you. And now he's showing that thing now has that. But the thing that's very interesting is he's talking about language. You're able to have any type of language you want right there. And so this is where my ears perk up, because we know in Genesis 11 that being one people with one language would allow them to reach incredible levels. The scripture says nothing they propose to do will be withheld from them. That's something that we understand, that all these people, these technocrats and stuff, that's what they're trying to reach. They're trying to get back to the Tower of Babel, trying to create a way that we can have one language, because just like what the scripture tells us, that you'll be able to reach levels that we can't now, as if you're one people, one language. And so everything is trying to get back to that. And with this new technology, this new AI, just being able to have it on there, not only will it have your voice and your tone and all this stuff, but you're going to be able to have this interaction of basically having one language again. And so as we can see, they're trying to get back to that godlike status of the Tower of Babel, and they're doing it through technology. They're doing it through AI. And so far, we've got this wearable AI. We understand that they're going along with the transhuman. They want things implanted in us, like the Internet of Bodies and whatnot. And so we're seeing some stuff coming out as far as that. The first things first, I know everybody has probably already seen this, but this is part of what's going on, so we got to talk about it. Elon Musk is bringing up the rear with his Neuralink. He finally gets his FDA approval for his chip implants. They approved him to be able to put it in one person, I believe. I think they're already doing it anyways, but that's just my opinion. But we saw this. Keep in mind, BlackRock Neurotech and Synchron are already putting chips in people's brains. They've already been testing it. I mean, they've hit high levels of brains with chips already. BlackRock Neurotech, that's Peter Thiel. He's invested in that. And Synchron, if you guys don't know, Musk is actually a secret investor in that. But both of those companies are already there. So he's bringing up the rear on this one. And it's just one of those things with Elon Musk. I'm telling you guys. You got Klaus Schwab that says, I want to put the chips in the brains. And everybody's like, no, that's bad. But Elon Musk, he wants to do the exact same thing. And everybody's cool with it because he's the hip Twitter guy. And so it's very important that we understand that Twitter's involved too. But Elon Musk is right involved with this stuff. He wants to do the chip thing. He's been pushing the same things that Klaus Schwab, Uncle Klaus, Eat Z Bugs has been doing. And he's bringing it up. So just imagine that you have the AI language translation tech implanted in your brain. Now, just imagine that. That's what they're aiming for. That's what they want to do. So take that wearable AI that has all that stuff with your AI voice and the language translation and stick it in somebody's head so they don't even have to wear it. It's just part of their transhuman deal. Now you've got one language going on in somebody's brain. You start connecting that with everybody, and you're now getting back to the one people, one language, like in like in Genesis 11. That's what they're aiming for. This is what they've been pushing for, and they're getting closer and closer and closer. Now, of course, all of this is involved with the fourth industrial revolution and their Internet of Bodies. We've talked about this here and there, but this is a good little video here that will show you what they're aiming for. Check this out.
One of the features of this fourth industrial revolution is that it doesn't change what we are doing, but it changes us.
The very idea of human being some sort of natural concept is really going to change. Up until now, the conversation we've been having is around freedom of speech. Once we can access people's thoughts and access people's emotions.
The focus, as all of you know, today is on what's now called the Internet of Bodies, involving medical implants and other kinds of devices that go inside your body and all together with the Internet as a whole comprise the Internet of Bodies.
The Internet of Bodies, or IOB, is actually an ecosystem. It's a bunch of devices that are connected to the Internet that contain software and that either collect personal health data about you or can alter the body's function. We think of the Internet of Bodies as this collection of all these devices as well as all the data that the devices are gathering about you. And in healthcare, Internet of Bodies has been around for quite a while.
So the Internet of Bodies, imagine the power of AI. What is artificial intelligence? It's a way to automate computation and cognition. So we can now automate learning, perceiving, doing computation. It's a pervasive general purpose technology that will be used in all of our industries, that will come into our professional networks, our private networks, our schools, our industries and our offices. What I wanted to epitomize with the Internet of Bodies is this notion that we will be under assessment, we will be under measure of computation in every aspect of our lives in the future. From what you eat, who you date, what you buy on the internet, how much energy you use, but also what are your vital signs? How well are you doing in terms of health? What kind of specific genetic quirks do you have? What's your genome telling about your health, about your mental health, about how well you are doing, how well you are aging, what kind of disease you are susceptible to?
It has a bit of an Orwellian twinge to it.
Well,
Yeah, that's the Internet of Bodies in a nutshell. And it's about connecting you up to the Internet of Things. It's about making you a thing. And they want to know every bit of information about you. That's why they want this stuff in there. Your mind, thoughts, vitals, DNA, sight, what you're thinking, what you're saying, who you're talking to, where you're at, everything. It wants to know all that information. And I mean, we've talked about this stuff before. The second person that you saw in the video, the first lady, that's Nita Farahani. That's somebody that I've really been trying to warn you guys about. She does not get talked about very much, but she's one of the leading people behind invasive brain connection. They want, not only do they want to be able to see what you're seeing, which they've already talked about how they have stuff where they can see basic shapes and faces now. With this technology, they can read what you're seeing, but they want to know who you are, what you're thinking, all your thoughts. They want to know your mind. They want to know all of that stuff, who you're seeing, what you're listening to, what you're hearing. She's talked about this stuff. They're working on technology to do that. They already have some technology, and she talked about it. Some train engineers, they wear a special thing in their helmet that will automatically let the office know when they're too tired to work, and they'll pull them off the line. So the person may think that they're perfectly good, but that thing is actually reading the brain saying, oh, he's not good. And they're going to pull you off to do it. This is the technology that she's talked about. She's even talked about how they're talking about implanting thoughts, implanting memories, like Total Recall type of stuff. They're working on that. And she's also talked about how they want to be able to send pain to somebody's brain neuropathically with this type of stuff. This is all things that is rolling out. And as you can see, it's all about connecting you up for health data. They want to know your vitals, your DNA, everything like that. This is what the Internet of Bodies is. They're doing it all under the disguise of, oh, we just want people to be able to remove disabilities. We wanted people to give sight and all that stuff. No, it has nothing to do with helping people. It has everything to do with keeping track of people. And this is what's going on with the Internet of Bodies. Elon Musk is a part of it. He's doing it with his Neuralink stuff. He's got his CureVac things and all that stuff. He's working on all this stuff. And by the way, I know we talked about how he hired the new Twitter CEO, Linda Yaccarino, for Twitter. But there's more connection to the WEF involved with Musk than I think people realize. If you want to talk about his brother, Kimball Musk, he's a WEF partner, and he's also on the board for Tesla and SpaceX. He's been a part of it the whole time. So that connection to the WEF has always been there, even through family. So all he's doing is just adding more and more WEF people into his thing. So yeah, Musk, I don't understand how anybody can still think we can trust Musk. I don't know. I get the same stuff as far as Elon Musk, where it's, oh, well, he's just playing 16D chess. He read the book, The Art of War, or whatever, where you have to get into the enemy camp in order to eliminate the enemy. And people keep making all these excuses that he's just trying to get really cozy and into the WEF so he can take them down and stuff like that. That was the same Q type of excuse that they were doing with Trump as well, when they were talking about, oh, well, he's playing 16D chess. He just has to do this and do that. And the goalposts kept moving the whole time. It's stop making excuses for these people, guys. They've revealed who they are, and there's no play going. They're not playing this different dimension chess. They're not. These people are who they are. They're all a part of the club. They don't care about you and me. And the same thing goes with Musk. So I still don't understand why people think that he's a good guy. Like, I just don't get it. But yeah, so with all this technology, with all this stuff that they're pushing with the Internet of Things, the Internet of Bodies, the AI stuff, everything. What is the ultimate goal? We've talked about the language and everything like that, getting back to the tower, but the end goal is they're trying to become gods through technology. And I mean, we've heard this with Peter Thiel. He's talked about it, where he believes that God has given us technology for us to be able to make us transhuman, to reach his level so we can co-create together. And so that seems to be the brand. I mean, we've heard it with Yuval Harari as well, where he's talking about, well, it's not about some God in the clouds, because he's an atheist. He's talking about us being God. So the whole goal is to, again, get back to the Tower of Babel. You're seeing that same theme go through all of this. And now we're getting some video that shows us what that's going to look like. And this is a show from the BBC. This is crazy, guys. It's about 3.5 minutes, but just check this out.
We can let that breathe for 10 minutes. All looking good. I'll come back and I'll dress them.
Do you see? These are interaction nodes. If I use this finger, I can open all the doors at work, no ID. And if I just scan this in a shop, I can pay for anything up to £1,000. And look, Dad, Mom, I've just taken your photo. Send and send. It doesn't need the sound effect. I just added that because it makes me laugh.
You promised me they wouldn't touch your eyes. Not after last time.
That was years ago. Gran's had stem cells in her eyes since then.
I can't help thinking... Don't laugh. All these power cuts. Well, what would happen to you?
Nothing. What happens to you in a power cut? Nothing.
So, what about your head?
Can't feel a thing. They inserted the tiniest wafer into my brain. Synced us up. No keyboard. I don't need a keyboard ever again.
You did that by thinking?
It can't read my mind. Not yet, but the wafer tracks activity in the neural pathway and micro movements in the retina to predict what I'm thinking.
But that is reading your mind.
Let's see where everyone is. There's Aunt Rosie. She's at home. Lincoln's in school. Lee's not in school. Should be. Where is he? In the park. Don't tell Rosie. Gran's at home in the kitchen. What a surprise. Let's find Ruby. She's in a bar called the Marine Tide, and she's just bought a bottle of House White for £56.
It's 4 o'clock in the afternoon.
56 quid for the house white? That is amazing. And a little bit like spying. What if I didn't want you tracking me?
Well, that's a good question. Can you imagine? What if your father was having an affair or something?
Okay.
You're in my contacts. That's permission, according to the law.
But I still don't understand. You can run software like this on a keyboard. So why do you need the operation?
I'm trying to explain it in ways you can understand, but the connection is so much more. While we were talking, at exactly the same time, I wondered about the 80 Days of Rain. Where it came from, why it was, what comes next. And I keyed into satellites just 30 seconds ago. So I can see the course of El Nino. And I can tap into pressure sensors along the Atlantic coast and barometric readings from the ships at sea. If I put all of that together, I'm there. I'm inside it. The tide, the depth of the sea, and the curl of the waves within me. And right now in Charles Street, Pasadena, 15-year-old girl called Ethany Cross has written her first song and put it online, and she's got the sweetest voice. So when I combine all of that, it's joy. In my head, it is absolute joy.
You guys see it? What is a TV show and years of movies and other TV shows that we've seen that all had this technology in there, and we're sitting there going, that's only stuff that we see in movies and whatnot. The things that we're seeing come to life now, these brain chips, these health readers, these wearable AI things, all this stuff, that's what it's coming to. That's the pinnacle of it right there. They want you connected to the internet entirely. They want to be able to track you. And as you can see, the dad asked, what if I don't want you tracking me? And she says, you're in my contacts. By law, that's permission. So again, now you're starting to get into the legal aspect where now they've got the laws there that, all you have to do is be in somebody's contact and you're able to track them wherever they're at any time. This is where we're getting. This is the next step. This is what they're trying to get. And as you can see, she's talking about how it's just absolute joy, being able to connect with all this stuff and be able to feel all these things. It's about getting to that God level back at the Tower of Babel. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to be gods. They're trying to say, we don't need God. We can be our own gods. We can be transhuman, connecting man and machine connecting iron and clay. And this is the progression. This is what they've been working on. All these things that we see coming to fruition with all these different technological advances, these AI advances, everything is all trying to hit that TV show. It's unbelievable, and it's unifying us with the internet, ultimately becoming a slave to the masters, ultimately the Antichrist when he steps onto the scene in the end of this. And so they're bringing tech to connect all of us and all of the languages together, trying to get back to Babel. That just seems to be the recurring theme with all this. That just seems to be everything that we see going on is all trying to get back to that original status. And it's unbelievable. So, guys, it's getting freaky with technology, and it's getting closer and closer. I mean, this is stuff that we were just like reading about and, just seeing, oh, well, we're working on this type of stuff and everything. But now we're actually seeing it come to life. We're actually seeing it happen. And it's just another sign showing how close we are to the rapture of the church. Just another sign, because, I mean, as we get closer to this type of stuff, again, we're going to reach a point where technology is going to advance past what's in Revelation, and we know that's not going to happen. We understand that we're not going to get to that point. God's not going to allow that. Otherwise, he would have written it that way. He would have breathed that in there. But he knows the beginning and the end. He knows how far we're going to get with this stuff. He understands how far we're going to get close to that, and he's going to start making moves. He's already making moves, but you know what I mean. He's going to start laying down the smackdown on what's going on. And so take comfort in that. You know, all this freaky stuff going on, all this technology advancing, all this surveillance and spyware and everything. We're going to talk a little bit more about some more surveillance that they're doing, which is insane. But just take comfort in the fact that God knows the beginning of the end. He knows what's going to happen, and he's moving accordingly. It's his will. It's ultimately his will, and we're being held in his hands. So it's very important that we understand that. Take encouragement from that, guys.